The 21st century has been described as the age of anxiety, the United States of stress, the world of worry. The implication is that what we are experiencing, pandemics, terrorism, political and economic turmoil, existential angst, and let's not stop there. Misleading news headlines, tweets, email and text sign-offs, you hear and see it everywhere. The world has never seen anything quite like this. If this sounds familiar, make sure to watch this video to the end, because no one prepared you for this, so we will. Seneca, a famous Stoic, said, "We suffer more from imagination than from reality." So here are 9 Stoic lessons to get out of your own head and decrease your anxiety. But before we dive in, what is anxiety really? Anxiety is often defined as a feeling, an experience, or a state of worry, nervousness, or uneasiness. 65 million people in the US alone struggle with some type of stress or anxiety. Generalized anxiety disorder is one of the most commonly reported. We know we're anxious, but we can't exactly put our finger on why. But after this video, you will be able to. Number 9. Name your monster. Marcus Aurelius said, "Always define whatever it is we perceive, to trace its outline, so we can see what it really is, its substance, stripped bare, as a whole, unmodified, and to call it by its name, the thing itself and its components, to which it will eventually return." Anxiety is overwhelming and ambiguous. It can be so profound as to leave us immobile. Doubt, uncertainty, fear, worry, pressure, nervousness, they swirl around inside us, and we don't know what to do about it. We don't know where exactly it's coming from. We don't know when or if it will go away. The first thing we have to do is name it. Stick around and find out how to do so. Number 8. Focus on the present moment. Marcus said, "Don't let your reflection on the whole sweep of life crush you. Don't fill your mind with all the bad things that might still happen. Stay focused on the present situation. We all feel pulled to do more, to go more places, to make more progress. We are dogged by the constant worry we're in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. Or rather, there is somewhere else, somewhere better that we should be." It's a feeling that manifests not just in anxiety, but in guilt, envy, fear, insecurity, to boot, basically misery. The exact opposite of being content, happy, or grateful, of being present. But how do we do this? Number 7. Put your impressions to the test. Every minute of every day, thoughts pop into your head. About what's happening, about other people, about yourself, about what you see, about what you feel. What are you supposed to do with all these thoughts? Well, according to the core premise of Stoicism, the one thing you're not supposed to do is act on them immediately. Epictetus talks about stopping and putting every impression to the test. We must have the discipline to ask, is this true? Number 6. Assess your wants. Epictetus said, "When I see an anxious person, I ask myself, what do they want? For if a person wasn't wanting something outside of their own control, why would they be stricken by anxiety? The anxious father, worried about his children. What does he want? A world that is always safe. A frenzied traveler. What does she want? For the weather to hold and for traffic to part so she can make her flight. A nervous investor. That the market will turn around and an investment will pay off." All of these scenarios hold the same thing in common. It's wanting something outside our control. Getting worked up, getting excited, nervously pacing. These intense, pained and anxious moments show us at our most futile and servile. Staring at the clock, at the ticker, at the next checkout lane over at the sky. It's as if we all belong to a religious cult that believes the gods of fate will only give us what we want if we sacrifice our peace of mind. Today, when you find yourself getting anxious, ask yourself, why are my insides twisted into knots? Am I in control here, or is my anxiety? And most important, is my anxiety doing me any good? Number 5, do less, Seneca said. We will benefit from that helpful precept of Democritus, showing us that tranquility lies in not undertaking tasks, either in public or private, that are either numerous or greater than our resources. Here's a simple recipe for curing anxiety. It comes from Marcus Aurelius. If you seek tranquility, he said, do less. Follow this advice today and every day. So much of what we think we must do, so much of what we end up doing is not essential. We do it out of habit. We do it out of guilt. We do it out of laziness, or we do it out of greedy ambition. And then we wonder why we are so anxious, or why our performance is suffering, or why our heart isn't really in it. Of course it isn't. We know deep down there's no point. But if we could do less inessential stuff, we'd be able to better do what is essential. Now, what was that thing we talked about in last video? Number 4, practice negative visualization. The point of premeditatio malorum, negative visualization, is not to make you worry. It's to eliminate worry. By being aware of all of the possibilities that lay before us, we can now proceed with our preparations. Who has time for anxiety? We should be fortifying ourselves for what may come. Why waste time preferring one outcome to another? We are ready for all of them equally. But what if the worst-case scenario happens? Okay, that won't be fun. So let's enjoy the present moment while we still can. Premeditatio malorum, whether you carry it in your pocket in the form of our medallion, or you just run through it before embarking on a project or a journey or a long-haul flight, is a form of freedom, a form of empowerment, a way to help you meet the future by seizing what's in front of you right now. But how do we come up with these thoughts? Number 3, take a motionless moment. Marcus Aurelius headed an entire empire. He had books to read, writing to do, laws to pass, cases to hear, troops to lead. He was a busy man. He, like us, was pulled in many directions. He had anxieties, worries, hopes, and dreams. Yet he speaks frequently and beautifully about taking moments of quiet and calm. If you can cut free of impressions that cling to the mind, he said, free of the future and the past. Have you ever had a moment like that? If you have, you know how special it is. You know what kind of insights you were able to access, how much happiness crept in and how much anxiety crept out. Marcus wrote that taking these moments of stillness allows us to concentrate on living what can be lived, the present moment. Only then, he said, can you spend the time you have left in tranquility and in kindness and at peace with the spirit within you. So is this what you should do? Number 2, let go of everything but this. We all want that quiet confidence that comes from being on the right path, as Seneca described it, and not being anxious or distracted by all those which crisscross ours. Well, how do you get that? It's simple, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Stop caring what other people think. Stop caring what they do. Stop caring what they say. All that matters, he writes, is what you do. Everything else is beyond your concern. You can let it all go. You can ignore it entirely. But this last thing you should not ignore. Number 1, think differently about money, Seneca said. The founder of the universe, who assigned to us the laws of life, provided that we should live well, but not in luxury. Everything needed for our well-being is right before us, whereas what luxury requires is gathered by many miseries and anxieties. Let us use this gift of nature and count it among the greatest things. Did not regard himself in possession of any of his wealth. It belongs to the people, he said. Even the house I live in is not mine. There is a tranquility that comes when we stop thinking so highly of money, when we stop thinking money is so rare. It isn't. It is all incredibly common. Most of the people who have it are not impressive. Most of the great fortunes are, in fact, the opposite of great. Life gets a lot better when we break free from the chains of luxury. Anxiety slips away when we don't need to make decisions that force us to continue to work and work and work, and in order to get more money to pay for the things we don't need. Remember, humans can be happy with very little. Like if you agree, bonus lesson for making it this far. Embrace the phrase amor fati. Amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate or love of one's fate, is a core principle of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, originating in ancient Greece, champions the development of our inner virtue as a means to achieve tranquility and freedom from suffering. The Stoics believed that embracing concepts like amor fati are essential to living a life of harmony, resilience, and contentment. If you made it here, it shows you have high willpower, and you will become successful through your discipline and overcome yoru anxiety. Like this video and embark on this journey of self-improvement with us. Comment what Stoic lessons you want to see next, and in the meantime, click the video in screen now to become even a better Stoic.